Spell Pierce. New Spell Pierce looks cool. Counterspell. That's the name of the card we couldn't figure out yesterday was. I completely forgot you can just click on the actual card on Mythic Spoiler and it would pull up the names. I was like, what is just Counterspell? All it is for 2 blue.
How's the stream looking?
Oh my god, look how good we look.
It looks great.
Let's make sure that we're actually getting audio out. Oh, and we sound great too. This is like literally next level.
Awesome.
1 week difference. Oh, I just closed it out. Rip. Alright, 3rd time's the charm, right?
Alrighty. So, hey, thanks for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and talk about the benefits of shooting raw video on Canon DSLRs using Magic Lantern to hack the firmware.
Like I said, for the 3rd week in a row. But hopefully this one will have no issues. Okay, so I guess how we want to get started with is... So this is a 70. 70D.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Lantern. Why Magic Lantern?
Magic Lantern is a third-party firmware hack developed basically on a volunteer basis. The developers don't get paid to do this. They do accept donations though. And what they've done is they have developed Magic Lantern, which is their firmware hack. And Magic Lantern allows you to bypass a lot of Canon's firmware limitations. So, for example, the Canon 70D doesn't normally shoot raw video in any way, shape, or form. However, using Magic Lantern and enabling raw video recording, you can shoot in RAW.
It does have a raw setting, but that's not actually raw. It's not actually recording in RAW.
Right, it's raw photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's great, you know. Magic Lantern lets you use raw video on the Canon DSLRs. It's awesome. It lets you do a lot of other stuff too. It's not just for raw video, but it's what we're primarily using it for.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it enables actual shooting of RAW. You're not gonna get the same like 2K quality or not 2K quality, but like same that you're gonna get out of like a Red Dragon or an actually designed camera to shoot in 4K. But having this enabled dramatically increases like how good all of your shots look.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So I mean, there's some limitations that we should probably discuss first.
let's talk about on the 70D. So we'll talk about limitations on the 70D, and then we'll talk about the 7D because we have both right here. 70, 7. For the 70D, its write speed specifically is capped, and that's a internal issue and not an issue with Magic Lantern. And it doesn't matter like what your capture speed on your actual like your disc is, like your card. It's specifically capped at I think 45 megabits a second.
Yeah. In just a minute, I'll pull this spreadsheet up so you guys can see it as well. But basically, Canon has various hardware limitations on all of their cameras. And so far as the Canon 70D goes, one of those hardware limitations is its max write speed. There's nothing we can do or anyone can do to boost the hardware write speed of the Canon 70D. It's impossible without taking it apart and rebuilding the camera with better hardware. So that means you can't necessarily record at full 1920 by 1080 resolution on it, which is a little iffy. However, at the quality that you get to record, you can upscale without really any significant detail loss, and in fact it tends to look more detailed than standard 1920 by 1080 looks. So I'm gonna go pull this spreadsheet up and I'll be right back.
The max actual resolution for the 70D, like at max, It's awesome. It's good stuff. All right, and I think that's basically it. I don't think I'm gonna do a quick little listen in. I want to blow my brains out. Oh! Ah!
Okay.
Ah!
Apologies for that, guys. You probably weren't able to hear us while we were talking over the spreadsheet and the raw footage. But basically, we talked about how the immense amount of detail that you can preserve when recording in raw, it's better than when not recording in raw. You probably saw the side-by-side comparison during that video where you can see clearly on the left-hand side most of the detail in the background gets blown out, while on the right-hand side with raw and zero color correction, it's all that detail is preserved. So basically, you know, you can spend $400-ish on a Canon 70D and then maybe another $300 to $400 on a good lens, and for less than $1,000 have a raw camera that shoots continuously at high resolutions. It looks gorgeous, it works well, and there's really no reason for anybody who's looking to better their video quality to not at the very least try something like this, because sure, you may not already have a Canon DSLR like the 7D that can record the raw continuously because of those hardware limitations. But you can still, if you have a Canon DSLR that supports Magic Lantern, and there's a number of them that do, you can still at the very least load Magic Lantern and give it a shot. And sure, you won't be able to shoot continuously, but you'll be able to see the results for yourselves and know that this might be something worth getting into and paying for.
All right, I think that's good enough. Next week, I'm going to say it. Next week, we're going to talk about issues with streaming.
Yes, we are. We're going to talk about all the issues. Anybody who's watched this has probably realized that this is the third time we've done this particular stream. And that's because we've basically been practicing and working on some issues.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're going to talk about streaming from here and streaming at home from Twitch, which we do a few times a week. And just like the differences and limitations that you can run into.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching, and we'll probably save an archive of this on the YouTube page, and we will see you next time.